everyone, and welcome back to Beyond Beaglington. It's the 10th of December, which means there's only 15 days left until Christmas. But in this episode, we're going to go back as far as May, because I've got to give you some updates on the tomatoes, because we're coming up to the end of the harvest. Well, for this year, I think, anyways. So join me as we go beyond Beaglington, but actually still in the room. Yeah, I don't know. This thing's been going on for months now. So roll the credits. So I was down at the station, wondering what I could do. Then an idea came to me as I stood on platform 2. I'll take a train beyond Beaglington and try something new. Yes, so it's now May, and it's coming up to basically nearly a year since these tomato plants were first planted. And there have in fact been some tomatoes, and they're a bit shriveled, sun-dried, and I'll show you close up to the ones still on the plant. I've snipped off some of the leaves and things. The problem I've had is that while we've had tomatoes, they're not big and they're going ripe too soon. So I've decided to use some tomato feed. It wasn't planning on doing. I was trying to keep everything organic and everything, just see what we could do, but actually I'd quite like to get some tomatoes to cook with. So I got my friend Keith to drop round some nature-safe organic tomato food with seaweed. So, and I don't know because it's quite light outside whether you can actually see anything that I'm doing, but it's a 1 litre bottle, and it cost $11.95 at Daly's Hardware. And so basically you can measure out some of that into, I've got a little plastic thing, and I don't need that much, so I take out about like 5 ml and I put it into the tub, which I'll show you my doing, and then I apply that to the soil, I suppose. I have to say, since we changed the soils and we did the repotting in the previous tomato progress video, they have come on quite well. So they have now got lots more flowers on, and they're looking a lot stronger. Very twisty. There's lots of weird, like, wobbly bits on as well. But yes, I'll give you a bit of a close-up now and show you how we're doing. So these are the tomatoes, the first ones that kind of grew, and this was my biggest one, and it looks so short. It looks like almost like a pepper. These ones are, well, this one's kind of going a bit shriveled, and this one is ripe, but you know, not really useful. And then there were some on another branch over here. See, there's a small one there. It just looks like a miniature tomato in amongst the vines there. And so I have started feeding the tomato plant, and I've only fed it twice, but you can see the difference because we now have sort of actual tomatoes growing, getting larger than the other ones had before they turned red. And hopefully where all these extra flowers are, these will all become tomatoes as well. So I'm just going to go and mix together some of their food. Right, so we've got our 500 ml of water here, and apologies about the mess. It's a bit untidy in here, but when you've got small kids or whatever, things be busy. So we're going to pour in. Oh no, it's all over my hands. Ah, and the smell. Ooh. Right. I'll just see now. We set all this up. Right, that'll do for there. We were aiming for about 5 ml in here. It's not gone well, and this worked the last time I did this. I mustn't have held it at the right angle. Anyways, I'd say we probably have enough in there now. And we'll bung that in there as well. Because, do you know what? It's all over the place anyways, and all over my hands. So, it was my head in the way the whole time. I wonder. Oh well, right, I've made a complete mess of that. But now, it's time to take my horrible, horrible smelling hands and move some of these old trim bits, chuck them out the way. Now, there are lots of little bugs living inside these roots, and I think the soil could be due for a top up soon because it's looking a bit rooty. But I'm just going to swish this around and I'm going to pour it into the ground there. And then I've got another plant over here, so I'm just going to move some of these, pour that in there, and I'll pour the rest in there, and that'll do. And then put the drip trays underneath, so hopefully those roots might be growing at the bottom, might still be able to absorb some of that that's gone through. So there we are, that's the tomatoes bedding in. And we'll come back for another video soon, or another clip of this video, to see how our progress is being made. But right now, I've got to wash my dirty fingers. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tomato Cam. And it's the 12th of June, and we've had a bit of a clear out. You can see there's a skip over there somewhere in the background. And the tomatoes, after having been fed for a while and being watered and stuff, are actually doing kind of well. So I'm going to show you how they look. So these are the 2 tomatoes that were kind of growing in the last video, I think. And you can see my hand for scale. They're coming along and they're turning red. And there's another tomato which is also growing quite well here. There is another one which sort of has turned into a bobble just there. But we have another one here. There you go. See that one? This one has started to grow up, but the stem needs support. It's falling down a bit. Try and loop it over itself. Try and keep it upright. There we go. Now, we go over here. We can find there's another tomato there. And there is another one hiding somewhere over here as well. So we can find it. Oh, it's over here. There's another one. And then we come around to the window. There is, in fact, if I can get the camera into the tree, more growing in here. There's too many leaves. Yeah, let me put it down there. See, there's a large one there, and then there's another bunch growing just inside here. And there's all these flowers up the top. They're going to hopefully turn into tomatoes as well. There you go. So that's where we're up to now, and hopefully soon it'll be really bursting with tomatoes. You can see a little bit better there. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Tomatoes growing better than before. Apparently all these little bumpy bits are perfectly normal. So yeah, don't be too worried about them. And also now that I've touched the plant, it now smells of tomato plant smell. So I'm going to go wash my hands. But yes, I might actually be able to use these tomatoes for something. I don't know if you can freeze them. It'd be nice to get enough together and use them to make like a passata or a soup or something. But yeah, no, this is going well for once. So it's now the 3rd of July and it's time to harvest some tomatoes, which have turned red. So, snip them off the vine. There we have an tomato. I'll just try and focus it now. There you go. And hiding somewhere in the back of this, there is in fact a larger tomato. The trouble is getting to it. Look at that. That is a real tomato. We have grown a real, normal sort of sized tomato. Wonderful. Hello, Smoppers. How are you finding the summer? No? Bit grey out there, isn't it? Deary me. How miserable. Right, so we've harvested the first 4 tomatoes, and they're quite small, but there is a chance that we may get some bigger ones. So there are over 50 tomatoes now growing on the plant, and it's the 5th of July, so they've been growing for 1 year and 2 months now, so 14 months of growing. And I'm going on holiday, so they're going to be left unattended, as it were. They've got sunlight, but they're going to need water. And so I have something that I'm hoping is going to work, and it is these. So I've got some Aldi Garden Line self-watering plant spike multi-packs. You actually get 12 of these in a pack, and I'll show you how they go together in a second, and then we can see if we can get them to work. Right, so we have a pack of these self-watering plant spikes, and basically all you do is dig a spike, and you get a valve, and you get a little stabilizer leg, and you just pop the valve into there with the tap part pointing down, and you can pop this in either way. I think you can do it that way. No, it must just be that way. So there you go, and that's it. That's all you do, and then that goes in the soil, and the leg should hopefully hold it up. At least that's the plan, anyways. There's a picture of someone who's got their bottle there, and obviously if you're using a bottle larger than 1 litre, it does say you might need to give them some extra support. So I'm hoping to rest mine against the radiator, which is over there. So let's go and get these sorted. Right, so got the tomato plants there, and I've got a small bottle with water in, and this is going to go into the bottle. Oh, there we go. Let's check now. That works. Okay, nothing's coming out yet. It doesn't bode too well, does it? Aha, a drip. So we can tighten this up or down. Right, so I'm going to stick that in. There. We've got to put our stabiliser leg on. Oop, split it out now, the pressure's water. Tighten it again, because I'm going to be away for like 2 weeks, so hopefully that's not going to damage the roots too much. There we go, that's there. And because they only need watering once a week really at the moment, don't need to have too much water released. So that's one. Now the hard part here is going to be the next one, because it's a big bottle. Some central water. Oops, where's the other spike gone? There it is. Right, so same thing again. Just pop that into the bottle. And tighten that up. There we go. And hopefully this doesn't flood the floor. So we're going to chuck that in against the side somewhere. And see if we can get it to rest against the radiator. Lean it like that. There you go. And we just make sure that that's really tight. There. Right, well hopefully that's going to work now. So I suppose let's take one last look at the plant now. See, there's some tomatoes growing here and here and here. You know, they're all over the place. There's some in down below over here. There's some at the back somewhere. So there is a good few growing now. Plant's still getting taller again. So we'll have to see how they look when we get back from the holiday. Right, well, back from my hollybobs. That's not looking too good, is it? No. Right, well, I'll show you the damage. As you can see, some of them have shriveled. I don't know if there's any rescuing them. Some of them seem to be doing all right. Still, the ones that were here before, they haven't ripened except for a couple of small ones over there. They're not really going to be any good, I don't think. So the watering solution has failed, possibly because the weight of the bottle has driven the thing down into the ground and it's just not coming out. But yeah, but both of them have failed. And we also had, well, my partner's mother had tomatoes growing up at hers, and she did the same. She had some bottles like this with these things, and I don't know about anyone else's experience of them, but they haven't worked. So we're going to have to try and get these watered and get these fed and see if we can bring them back to life. Oh dear. Poor thing. Right, so we're going to take this out of here. Oh yeah, now the water's coming out of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing off. If we can get it out of this stupid bottle. Yeah, like soil in my mouth, typical. Right, I'm just going to give it lots of water. Here. I mean, this one was actually above the ground and doing nothing. Like it wasn't stuck there, and this thing was open enough that I was able to squeeze some water out there. So yeah, I don't know, just ridiculous really. There we go. It will probably pour out the bottom. Right, that will do, and we'll have to come back to that and hope that they survive. Now, right, we'll return to that when we see any sort of improvement. And here we have the more streamlined tomato plant. And there are a few tomatoes growing on it. Cut off most of the ones that died while we were away, but there's still some clinging on to life anyways. Right, so we've got another tomato here, which you can see now. Look at that. Lovely and red and shiny. They are quite a lot smaller than I was expecting. There's another one just here. Look at that. That is a tomato. Wonderful. I'll add it to the others, I suppose. It is now almost the end of October, and we have another one ripe. So we can get this off. Oh, there he goes. We'll wash this and add this to the rest of them. And so yes, I have one tomato here, the last one. Well, actually, second to last one. We have our bag here. This is my tomato bag. I'll show you in a minute. And I've just got one more left to pick off the line here. And I think that's it for what's growing this year at the moment. So, pop that in our bag as well. And then we have our bag of tomatoes. So I did say I was aiming to get at least 10, and I've definitely done that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 or 16 tomatoes. So yes, the plant's been growing since we planted it in May of 2023. So it's now December 2024. So this thing, if it makes it until May next year, will be 2 years old. So who knows, maybe we'll get some more tomatoes off it. And hopefully, maybe in the new year, I'll cook something up with these tomatoes, but we'll wait and see. So thank you very much for joining me on this tomato journey. And, well, like I said, I don't know if there'll be another video about the actual plant itself. We might be on to cooking. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the new year, hopefully, for some new episodes of Beyond Beaglington. But I haven't got anything major planned yet. I haven't even thought about it, actually, to be honest. But yes, you've been a wonderful audience. I've been a wonderful Alex, hopefully. And don't forget you can like, comment, share and subscribe. And there's also the subscribe bubble and the playlist thing. But I'm off to pop these back in the freezer. Ta-ra!